Aye, Captain. Go.
Recording has started.
Order, please. Hello, everyone, and welcome to only our second meeting in like a month and a half. Oh my gosh. We've all just been so incredibly busy. But it's good to see you all. It's good to be your speaker. And yeah, we actually have quite a few things to discuss today for once. So let's get right into it. Let's not waste any time. Let's go to our first measure, which is Bill 31 for Constitutional Amendment 6. I will paste that in the Parliament chat right now. So everyone go ahead, open that up. Look at that.
Long as hell.
It's actually 3 pages. And the third page is like a paragraph.
Not a paragraph. I'm showing the recording the bill as well.
All right, great. Is everyone ready? Otherwise, I'm just gonna read the bill's text in full, and then we can discuss from there. I'll assume that's yes. Okay. So, Article 1, Purpose. Clause 1. This amendment's purpose is to adjust the way votes are counted in general and special elections. The city of Bologna, before becoming the Republic of Bologna, had passed an amendment to its constitution with the intention of implementing instant runoff voting. This implementation was understandably flawed due to the government of the time not knowing fully how to implement it, and it ended up functioning similarly to plurality voting. This flaw was unknowingly brought over to the Republic of Bologna and was only noticed after a population boom causing elections to have more candidates. It was brought to the attention of TC Scion and Michael Webb by Calvin X2 on June 9th, 2023. The issue was verified by Scion and Siestro 216. This amendment aims to implement instant runoff voting effectively. Clause 2. The following clauses serve to explain how instant runoff voting works and may be used as a guide on how to count votes under the system. Clause 3. In instant runoff voting, voters have a ballot consisting of all candidates and a method to rank them from first choice to last choice. Clause 4. Once all ballots have been received, a percentage of the first choice votes required to obtain the position will be calculated based on the number of open positions. The formula for this calculation is 1 divided by the sum of n plus 1, where n equals the number of open positions, i.e. 4 candidates requires 20% votes for 4 open positions, regardless of the amount of people running for said positions. When n number of candidates reach the percentage, the counting is concluded and those candidates win position, i.e. 4 people getting 20% closes the votes even if there's still 8 runners. Clause 5. If the conditions in Clause 4 are not met, then the person with the lowest amount of first choice votes will be eliminated, and the votes will be recounted with the exclusion of that candidate. If there is a tie for the lowest amount of first choice votes, include second choice votes and recount. If there is still a tie, include the next choice votes, recount, and if needed, repeat until the tie is resolved. If the votes are identical, the tie would be resolved with the method used in Article 10, Section 1, Clause 8 of the Constitution. For example, if the eliminated candidate was a ballot's first choice, that ballot's second choice is now their first choice. If the eliminated candidate was a ballot's last choice, that ballot's penultimate choice is now their last choice. This will be repeated until the candidates meet the threshold, or the number of running candidates equal the number of open positions. Clause 6. As a minor change to this amendment, the choice to abstain votes will now be constitutionally recognized. Article 2. Implementation of instant runoff voting. Section 1. Changes. Clause 1. The following text will replace Article 10, Section 1, Clause 4 of the Constitution. Clause 4. Votes will be invalid on the following conditions. Either the voter's name is incorrect, or the voter is ineligible to vote during this particular election, either because they are not a citizen, have not had citizenship for long enough, or they have been otherwise prohibited from voting. I'm just going to stop here real quick and ask, why was this added in this bill, Mr. President?
Because let me see what the current Constitution says now, and you might be able to notice a small issue. So let me go down to where it replaces. So in the current Constitution, it says, votes will be invalid on the following conditions. No candidate is ranked, or the voter's name is incorrect. So this actually bans abstaining from votes.
Okay.
So I would like to have abstaining constitutionally recognized.
All right, you heard it here first, folks. Anyways, Let's continue. Clause 2. The following text will replace Article 10, Section 1, Clause 6 of the Constitution. Clause 6. Once voting ends, the executive branch shall determine a percentage of first choice votes required to win a seat. Formula for this shall be 1 divided by the sum of n plus 1, where n equals the number of open seats. They shall also record every vote and every valid ballot. If the number of open seats equals the number of candidates who meet the vote percentage, those are the results of the election. If that's not the case, the least voted candidate is eliminated, and the votes are recalculated with the exclusion of the eliminated candidate. This will be repeated until the number of open seats equals the number of candidates. Upon the executive branch having an equal amount of candidates and open seats, the election results should be announced as soon as possible. And the end. So, does anyone have any questions, comments, or concerns regarding Bill 31?
I'd like this. I think we should show something to like outside of like the bill to at least show like how the process is done, so like other
Yeah.
people can potentially like verify the results, right? Like give an example of how this is done. Right?
I believe
That's
what
not in the
could
bill, so.
I will add what I believe could be done on the executive branch's level is once the results have been properly calculated, the executive branch should anonymize like the people who voted, and
Yeah.
then could potentially release their calculations publicly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I feel like I would definitely be in
So,
favor
yeah,
of that
that's-
measure.
Yeah, that's honestly the easiest solution for that problem.
Yeah.
Good suggestion.
Would that be something that has to be added to the amendment? No, right?
I don't
Do we believe
think
this needs
so,
to be
because
codified?
I feel like
I
that's
don't-
more because I don't think releasing the results is in the Constitution itself. It could be a
Yeah, I
separate
don't
bill
think
if it
there has
was.
to be constitutional.
Yeah, I don't think it
anymore.
has to either. That's what, yeah.
Yeah, it could
Okay.
be one of those things that the executive branch does as tradition.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I mean, I'm only minded as a bill though. So
Yeah, either option works.
maybe in the future we can write a bill to add that as a formal thing.
yeah.
But any other questions or comments or concerns regarding Bill 31?
No.
No. I've been pushing for this one for a while
Yeah.
too.
I will.
Yeah,
so-
I will add for the record some of the goals of implementing this voting system, which will be basically. So currently in the voting system, if you vote first choice, that's basically your main vote, and the others just serve to break ties. So now with the amendment in place, the second choice and lower votes will actually be able to sway the election,
Yeah.
which means that generally the ballots will be more accurate to the results.
Yep.
So
As it should be.
And so theoretically, the actual most popular candidate will win positions.
Yes.
So should we have we voted on this yet?
No.
hold on, I was writing down some notes.
Oh, yeah.
Tippity-tippity-tip.
Okay, I think that's okay. I can reword
Yeah, I
the-
was
my-
expecting more questions, to be honest.
Okay,
I
yeah.
think
Is
we
there
went
any?
over
Is there
this so
anything?
many
Else?
times.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, really the only people
Yeah.
that would need to do in-depth questions would be Iso and Michael, technically, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
because most
Yeah.
of us
It
have
makes
been
sense
part
the
of
way it's
this
worded right now.
collaborating for the longest time.
Alright.
to get this
literally
done
2
and-
months.
I do thank you for
I
that
mean,
because
Yeah.
I was.
it was a bit
I
of
was-
a pain to get this worded in a way that's intuitive.
Yes, I
It
helped
makes
a lot
sense
with
the way
that
it's
wording.
written right now. So I
Yeah,
like
the
it.
wording
I
is-
like
And
the
I'm
way
so
it's
glad
well
it
done.
does make sense.
making stuff make sense is the hardest way to put it, because you can explain it in words, but sometimes writing it down is the hard part.
I'm a big fan of N-1.
In -1. Woo!
And +1.
Okay, order, please.
Improvised gavel?
Did you just
It's
improvise
a
the
stack
gavel?
of Uno cards.
Verse.
Why did it have so much
It-
reverb?
Why was that so
Because we have my
gabbly?
basement.
Oh,
Yeah, no,
basement.
it, like,
Oh,
it
that's
had the
that's perfect. Let's shut up when he does that.
Speaker's been
Yeah.
abducted.
Okay.
Locked in basement.
Thanks. Okay, we're gonna start a vote. We're gonna do roll call for this one. MP Iso Kamikaze, how do you vote?
I
MP Siestro,
Hi.
Pud is absent. MP
All
Buzzy
right.
the Bee.
Aye.
Okay, this measure is passed by Parliament without further objection.
So when are we looking to potentially have this as a citizen vote?
2 weeks.
As soon as possible.
Yeah.
The next voting system.
We should definitely have it before the.
Also, for the record, I'm
yeah.
just gonna immediately approve the bill.
I mean tomorrow. I
Gracias.
mean tomorrow it does
Yes.
officially mark the day when candidacy is open.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. Are
so
you
I guess
serious?
I guess the election
Yeah.
campaigns are gonna start with a
Oh,
referendum,
God.
which is nice. Get people in a voting mood.
Oh boy.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely think we should start the vote like tonight or tomorrow night.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
get it
definitely.
done.
I mean, well, it's technically approved by government, so we could push out a vote, the vote as soon as possible because
Yeah.
it's a majority. Just need Sock and ISO to sign.
Okay.
Sock
Okay.
and ISO.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
We also do need the
I'm-
president's side too, Lamau.
I'm just making sure it runs smoothly, no potholes. You know.
New York.
It also needs my signature. Just my own. Oh wait, I
Um,
forgot. I'm not an
I'm just trying to
MP.
make
That is not my
trying to make
signature
sure
font.
it's
No, but
That
it's
ain't it,
mine.
Chief.
Ah.
forgery.
There we go.
And ISO.
What was that?
Buzzy the Bee.
Boozy the bee.
Bumblebee
is.
emoji. Lobster.
The EU would be a lobster.
1 second. The EU would be a lobster. I
I mean, there are blue lobsters after all.
I'm not sure that's what he meant.
Oh, I know that's not what he meant. I just wanted to say that.
Okay.
So yeah, this
All right,
is.
let's move on.
At this point, it's ready to get the referendum treatment. It's
Technically, that's the
fairly
job of the
fast.
president. Lamau.
Oops.
Oopsies.
Remember, I'm not the president anymore. You do it.
Cool.
Uh-oh. Oopsie.
Lamau. Okay, let's look at Bill 32, which is also in Parliament chat now. Second Tax Revision Act.
This is a very short bill, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, this is very
believe
short.
it
This is like 3
is-
paragraphs. So
Oh, that makes it easy.
hopefully, maybe we'll have a debate. We might have more debate about this one because it's taxes, but we'll see what happens. I mean, depends if it's raising or lowering taxes, I suppose.
I feel like a lot of people are looking at me when this comes up.
Yeah, maybe.
Funnily enough, bit of a spoiler for the bill. It actually doesn't affect you.
Oh hell yeah!
Wow.
Thing
Wow.
that doesn't affect me, I like.
Well, at
Man
least
votes aye.
it isn't. It isn't likely to affect you.
Okay.
A lot of things don't affect me, and the things that do affect me, I don't care much about. Or I just don't notice if they affect me until they do, and then I'm very annoyed. That's usually how it goes.
Such as life.
Such is life. All right. Are we ready to look at Bill 32, Second Tax Revision Act?
Yes, sir.
Second one.
Oh, yeah. There was a first one.
Man,
I remember the
I'm
We were
ready.
there for that.
I was
Well-
also there for that.
The good old days of a few months ago. Anyhow.
Oh, so long
Anyhow.
ago.
Listen, a couple months in Maloney is like 3 years.
It feels
A,
like
a
that.
month
Dog
in
years.
Malonia is like half a year.
Yeah. Okay. So, Article Uno, purpose. This bill's purpose is to implement a system where citizens who have not logged onto the server for more than 30 minutes at any time within a tax season, which I think is about a month, will not owe their taxes. This will not forgive them of tax. They will still accumulate debt for not paying tax, but will only be required to be paid at citizens' earliest convenience. However, after a citizen does not log into the server for at least 30 minutes for a period of 3 tax seasons, about 3 months, their tax will be completely forgiven from then until the first tax season, where said citizen has logged into the server for at least 30 minutes. Article 2, Inactivity Tax Relief. Section 1, 1 month relief. Clause 1, citizens who have not logged into the server for more than 30 minutes at any time within a tax season will not owe tax. Their tax debt shall accumulate normally and be marked as relieved rather than unpaid. Section 2, 3 months relief. Clause 1, citizens who have not logged into the server for more than 30 minutes at any time within 3 tax seasons will be completely forgiven of taxes from that point until they no longer qualify for this clause.
I have a
So I
question.
feel like there's going to be a lot more questions about this one than
Yeah.
last time. I'll
Yeah,
open
I have a
the door up for
question.
that now.
Well, after 3 months.
Okay, one of you at a time, please. MPCS go.
So I would like to ask, how do we get like the 30 minutes from? Like, how do we determine like the 30 minutes? And how we actually make sure someone logs in for more than 30 minutes? Like, how we keep track of that
So,
during tax season?
answer to part A is that we thought it was an amount of time that indicates that, like, basically it's enough time for a citizen to earn revenue in some
Yeah.
way. Either, like, that's like a little bit of a mining trip or, like, working a job.
Yeah.
It's a little arbitrary, but it's enough to work. As for the second part of the question, we are able to look at the time difference between join and leave logs.
Well,
That's a good idea.
how will we? So we'll make sure that just by looking up their username within the month
Yeah.
in the FC chat. Okay. I still don't know how I feel about that 30 minutes. I don't know if it's the fact that I keep forgetting how long the tax season is, which is probably.
Yes,
Because
tax
of that.
seasons currently are 1 month.
But I feel like a majority of citizens aren't really logging in for 30 minutes per month, right?
Yeah,
No,
I
it's
just
a
the ones that do
minority
log in.
actually.
Yeah.
I feel like
So-
the citizens that do log in, some of them still don't stay around for like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, it's not 30 minutes at a time actually. It's 30 minutes
No,
within the
it's-
month.
Yeah, no, it's cumulative. I understand that.
Yeah.
I feel like some people still don't that participate in this server might not, you know.
That
It's hard to
reminds
say, right? I
that
feel.
reminds me of something I wanted to change about this bill. Let's specify
I
the
feel like-
Minecraft server.
I feel like the 30. I just feel like
Specifying
just like
Discord versus Minecraft would definitely help because some people
I
might
just-
be active on Discord but not exactly join the server.
Exactly.
I just think that the
So-
like this like as you said, like it's like an arbitrary number, and I just don't know like how I feel about it. I guess. Yeah.
Like a half an hour is good. I'm almost thinking an
Yeah.
hour because
I feel like that's too much though, because
I'm
I
more
feel like
in
there's
favor.
I
a
agree.
minority of citizens that log in for like an hour cumulative in the
within a
login.
month span. So you gotta say a
Yeah.
month is a long time to cumulative an hour worth of time.
I believe the only
Yeah,
citizens currently that qualify for this are Crystal Durgan and Anthony Boy 54
For the
The
3
heck
month
is that?
relief.
for the 1
Good
month
question.
relief.
Oh, the 1 month
Really?
relief.
Who's the Anthony guy? I've never heard of him.
I mean, I'm pretty close
Cool
to the
boy.
1
They
month, too, to be
became a
fair.
citizen last August.
Oh dang.
Damn.
Yeah, I've been
That's
around
a
a while.
year
They haven't
ago.
logged on in ages.
Well, not quite a year ago, but almost.
Yeah.
And yeah, they haven't logged into the server in long enough to qualify for 3 month relief. If they had any taxes to pay because they don't have a house.
No property.
Fair enough.
So I would also I guess I'll also open this up. Does anyone else have any thoughts they would like to share on the bill?
Not really. It makes a lot of sense.
I think Oddball was gonna say something.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
go ahead.
probably.
I Is there anything after 3 months, or actually no? It would just be a full pardon of all tax. Is that how that works? After 3
So
months?
the 3 month relief, how it works is that as soon as like you haven't logged in for 3 months for 30 minutes within the 3 months,
Yeah.
then basically your taxes are reset when you start joining for 30 minutes.
Okay.
So the
How
tax
would this-
debt gets wiped and it reaccumulates as normal.
So how would this like affect like the actual like economy of Ammonia with the whole debt idea now being kind of a thing? It's like big time, I guess you could say. Like,
I don't
top
think
five,
it
I
really would. It
It
wouldn't
really helps
impact it
players
enough
like
to make a
me.
difference.
Yeah, it would be a minor decrease in our tax revenue, but with our current stockpile, we can sustain that.
oh, okay. That's fair. That's fair.
For players like me, that's
And in
really
an
helpful
ideal
'cause I have not-
scenario, the conditions of this bill are not even triggered by any citizen, but basically,
Eh,
the
you
never know
reason
what'll happen.
that this bill was proposed is we found it kind of unfair to tax a citizen who hasn't joined the server and hasn't had the ability to make money.
That actually brings up a question. There's not a lot of money circulating at the moment. I mean, there is, but nobody's spending. So that's also a big issue. But that's a discussion for a later date.
Yeah. Seems
Alright.
the issue there seems to be nothing to spend money on.
Because you can just go out and adventure or go out on a mining trip and get it within 1 hour or so.
I mean, not even that, just because most citizens are actually like well established. So the like current market of providing like stuff for progression is falling a little outdated.
I mean,
Sorry, I
that would
missed
be
like a
if we
great
had more
or like the
players.
later half of that discussion because I was called down. So
It was discussing
Yeah,
the
a
current
lot
state
of
of the
people are-
economy.
A lot of people are
okay.
in the later game with everybody already having everything they'd ever need,
Yeah,
and not
there's
exactly needing new
basically
things.
there's a shortage of things for sale for those in the late game.
yeah.
That's why I've offered services building farms.
Fair enough.
Back on
Um,
task.
A little
I
unrelated,
guess.
but I might as well add my thoughts.
Oh yeah, I think that's a good. I don't know if there's really anything we can address with that though. Of course, nobody wants to lose the progress they've made over the past year,
Oh yeah.
but like that would legitimately be the only way to fix that problem would be to like reset. But no one wants to do that.
That would be bad.
That would be a good way to lose most of the players.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
upset Kyonia.
Oh yeah,
Right.
they'd be upset about that.
Well, yeah,
I
because
mean, it
they're
wouldn't
not
be just
as
that
established
area,
as
like,
us.
I
So I
would
guess the only way to
probably
fix that
not
problem in the
play.
meantime is for Melodia business to kind of try to expand into their territory because they
Maybe.
need a lot more of that stuff than we do.
I
It'd
think
be nice to
I think
do
the
like
actual solution would be a combination of that and more diversity in business.
Okay,
And
like
new
diversity
players.
in what though? Like what kind of business
Like
is needed?
like more competition or like more like
More things
products at the
available
market.
for sale.
I literally
Yeah.
sell everything, but
How much is it? Would it be
Well, I
until it
mean
gets
stuff
included?
like
Yes.
the material market is like oversaturated, but stuff like entertainment is an untapped market.
Listen, I've been trying to. I was trying to kind of tap into that entertainment market, but it didn't really work out.
I don't know. There was a discussion about like inter-server trading, so you like a Discord bot or whatever. That'd be an interesting idea to explore.
That's
You
I
can
think
trade in
that's
between
more
servers.
That's
more
a
diplomatic.
goal of the Alcovian Covenant.
Oh, perfect. Because I think that would definitely help because then you can trade in between servers. Say somebody needs something in Velsor, and I mean it would also help foreign relations to being able to trade back and forth.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not much that the government can do aside from maybe investing in businesses that we think will improve the economy. Yeah, let's get back to the bill in question.
Yeah. All right. Order, please.
It was worth bringing it up.
Yeah.
Okay. So, is there any more thoughts on the actual bill at hand, or should we go to voting?
I think I got pretty much all my questions like resolved.
Yeah, that's all my answers.
Okay, great. So, roll call vote as per usual. We'll start with MP Iso Kamikaze. Your vote on Bill 32.
I
MP Siestro 216.
Aye.
Pud is not here. MP Buzzy the Bee.
I.
Okay. This measure is passed by Parliament without objection.
And I'm signing it.
I see.
And
that was
I.
I'm
quick.
surprised
Yeah.
you wrote the bill and you're signing it. Whoa.
Wow, how unprecedented.
How
What
unprecedented.
it is.
So, I don't know. Well,
so now we're
It's what it
moving
is.
on to the
Discussion.
House of the Republic
Parliament Hall?
redesign discussion 2.
I
Or
feel
3,
like
or
this-
4, 5,
I
whatever
feel like
this is.
discussion has been just so dragged out at this point. Like,
we also don't have anybody who's like given us a solid design yet either, have we?
yeah.
Well,
that's
I mean,
fine.
I figured
one
out
person
how to
who-
use Litomatica.
Oh yeah.
So I feel like
Litomatica
once
is
I have a
insane. It
list
is
of
amazing.
design criteria from Parliament, I could actually make a design.
Yeah, and
okay,
then
so
Litomatica, you can just send the files to people, and it's really nice.
Yeah.
We would need to approve the design of it.
Yeah. Which is why I would like a list of design requirements before I build it.
What color do we want it?
That's a good point.
How large is it going to be? Because have we still like figured like actually finalized how big the building's gonna be?
No, not yet.
Not really. I mean, we
mean-
have an rough idea of what we want, like, Parliament to look like in there, and, like...
Oh yeah.
There's an
yeah.
idea,
Real
but it's
question
not
is,
exactly
how
fleshed
many-
out yet.
Rooms and shit do we actually need?
Good
I
point.
mean,
Probably
there
not-
is like a
Here is what I want.
size. There's a rough size thing if like of the room designers have to work with. That's like if we keep it in the same spot we have right now, which is this.
does that include the L that I recommended, or no?
It looks sort of like an L, but you can
More like
interpret
a
whether or not
line.
it's your
I,
L.
I put in a different one where we actually extended out to actually just make it look like an L. See if I can
Like over
find
the
it.
river or like by
Yeah,
the
over, like,
courthouse.
over the river. Over the river.
Ah.
Over the river?
Interesting.
That'd be hard to do and
Yeah,
kinda
and we
costly,
might-
I think.
We might interfere with Velo's build over there.
Also, as Sock said all those weeks ago, is that I'm very intrigued as to how we can make the front of it look decent, because otherwise we're using the small side of a rectangle.
Yeah.
And that
I'm
just
comfortable
wouldn't
using
work.
perspective to have a pretty front and then just utility back.
That's what I recommend. That's a good idea.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that pretty
Yeah.
much the
As
house
for rooms,
now?
I want an actual lobby because that was
I agree
part
with
of
that.
the original.
That was a part of the old one that I didn't include in the big one.
Yeah. And it
Which I will
just
say was
it just
a
makes the
very
whole
short-sighted.
building more cohesive if citizens when immediately entering the doors know like where stuff is.
Just straight up a hallway.
Yeah, in the current design, you're literally just a big hallway full of doors. That's like
And then
okay,
also
that
enough offices for not only the current administration but at least
We need
able
room for
to
expansion.
withstand future administrations for probably like I guess a year.
Probably.
I'd be okay with that.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. I found the idea. I'll post it in the Parliament chat. That's what I recommended. Is we put it into more of a big L front, so we have like a decent in front to make it look
Yeah,
nice, and then use the back portion as utility.
I just don't feel so strongly about that
Mm.
personally.
What do you not like about it? Because I mean,
I think
I'm a
it's
silent
just
majority
weird.
that also likes this a lot.
I just think
Wait.
it's gonna be very weird
Does,
and kind of
does
tough to
Parliament
do, like,
know about
go
what
over
I
that river.
proposed for this? Because I think it's actually a
Don't
good
believe so.
idea.
I don't believe
Exactly.
we've been
So
close just yet.
it would be relocating the Parliament building to 1 Presidential
Oh.
Avenue. Not
I
Avenue,
remember you
Boulevard.
said that.
Which is where again?
It is,
Uh,
if you like follow the street like to the right of the courthouse, it is the first property
Where?
there.
Where?
it would. I feel like it'd be a little bit smaller. We'd have to terraform more.
It would actually
But
be
otherwise,
bigger. I measured
would?
it out, it's actually bigger.
Where
that's-
did you
oh, that's
say
nice.
this was gonna be?
1 Presidential
Huh?
Boulevard.
Is that where the presidential house is gonna be?
Yeah. So we can just swap those buildings.
I wouldn't mind. I would not mind that, given that the president's house.
Yeah,
is
I
kind
measured
of
it out
backlog
when we were
project.
discussing this, and it is actually bigger, more space, and just more convenient because it's a better shape if we do it over there.
You could also-
Can I get like do you have like
I'm
an overhead
personally,
picture of that?
I don't mind that.
So I can, like,
actually. I
visualize
really
it?
do.
I'm not a huge fan of moving the capital's location a third
Yeah,
third time.
Yeah, definitely
I-
for sure.
I
I
Sure,
don't.
Michael.
Our current capital location is not the greatest though right now.
No, we
Yeah,
could have
but I feel like
definitely
this-
made something better.
It's kind of like the historic, like this is historically where it's been for like a year.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
I think
we don't have to
Cause-
demolish it though. We can repurpose
We don't have
it.
to demolish it. We can.
I mean, I feel like the thing is that it's kind of like with the thing with this current parliament building, it's pretty much suited in downtown, right? Where it's downtown is such like basically like a historical like borough in terms of Malonia, due to like it was like the first area that was settled in Malonia, right? Like it, even though it's not exactly in downtown like the Amogus house was, it's still in that downtown where it's where it has just like a significant like historical value to me personally, right? So I guess that's how I view it, right? So
Like looking at the 1 Presidential Road property, I see the appeal of the property, but it feels very removed.
it feels very remote, very like suburb, I guess you could say, almost. Like, just like the
I
area.
guess it's technically
how
more
it's, like-
central across the whole city.
It's
It is.
more
It's almost directly
central,
above
but
the
it's-
bay.
It's more deserted, like I
It's
guess.
still relatively
in a sense.
close, though, in comparison to the courthouse. and the
Oh,
current
well,
building.
yeah, of course, it's right directly next to it, but it's definitely a lot different. So
Are we talking
I
about
do like
building
the
it?
idea of
Talking
moving
about
it to
building
the
it
one
where the
presidential
presidential house
boulevard.
was going to be built.
I don't know if we've ever actually completely finished that design.
Well, the
I remember-
presidential house was by designed.
I remember the work in progress, and it looked like an Among Us.
Among Us house.
I remember that. Yeah, it did.
The Among Us building.
Part 2.
I mean, okay, so for your idea, right? How would you manage the river? Is my question. Like, would you just completely get rid of it?
I wouldn't say get rid of it. I'm almost thinking, how do I think?
Like
wanna
the
say exactly like-
stadium.
No. Well, that is one design, but there's
Just
also
like
the
I was
design
thinking, like
of.
supports underneath, but like, what do you have an idea for that?
Yeah, I was either thinking what's it called? Decorative supports to make it look good, or we
Hmm.
could just tunnel it out and then block it off with iron bars. while also
Honestly,
making
I
it look
do
good.
like the tunnel idea. I like
I mean,
that.
then you still have the river. Then you still gives the impression that the river's still flowing,
Yeah.
but you also kind of block it off slightly. It's
Yeah.
not like many people use the river anyway.
I
it's
mean,
just kind of there.
No,
It's-
but I
it's
would like to keep the
decoration.
river. I don't know.
The
I like
river is
rivers.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's either a like decorational supports, but I'm also thinking if we want to keep it flat, we'd have to do a little bit of terraforming into the side of the mountain. But
Oh,
that's
yeah,
not too
definitely.
hard. You just grab this 2 beacon and mow down some of the side.
Yeah, that's fine. Just need to make it look nice.
But yeah, the key thing there is making it look nice while still retaining the semi-natural
Yeah,
appearance
I
of
mean,
it.
I think the decorative supports would fit more with like the natural look.
I think it would, especially given the style that we want to do.
Yeah.
I do like the idea
Like,
of
if
making
we
it.
go with that, I really like that idea. So that way we don't have to move the house, or we don't have to move this building in the first.
Or at least the foundation.
Yeah.
There's
don't
kind
just
of
the
a
front, or at least
there's kind
Most
of a
of the
ship of
buildings are really
Theseus
big.
argument to be made here, though.
the what?
I mean, to
I
be
might
fair,
you don't
I
have to
mean,
explain
different
that.
this House of the Republic is not the House of the. Well, that wasn't called that at the time, but it's not the House of the Republic you used to stand here beforehand, really.
Yeah,
Oh,
that-
I
yeah,
guess
that
it would be
it,
the same address.
it was a
But, like-
redesign.
It's the same building concept.
It would be in
But
the
it's a
same
complete-
spot. People already know where it is. I think it would be fine to keep it where it is. You
I
know?
agree.
I
don't-
actually-
I
actually am-
care if it-
I personally
believe
see
that-
too many benefits with putting it in Presidential Boulevard.
I don't see enough benefit to it compared to
There's-
just.
okay.
It is
Yeah,
not
yeah,
only
so-
a bigger property, but it's also like easier to build because there's less terrain issues we have to deal
Oh,
with.
that's a good point. We'd have to spend a
Yeah,
lot of
but
time
it might be
terraforming
that.
it.
But there's also
Yeah, it would. The
other-
project would
Hell,
get
Terraform
completed
Pro-
faster.
cons.
Would be, which is a good point, because
Oh, we-
how many people do you know are going to be online to complete said project? I know once, like August.
Yeah, if we
22nd
pay
starts,
for the
my time
labor
on here will
to
be
build the new House of the Republic, then we want to choose a cheaper option.
well,
So the one that
Let me
takes
ask
less
this, how
labor.
how long did it
Yes, sir.
take for this house to be built? For this house of the Republic?
a terrifyingly long time.
Oh, that doesn't really answer my question.
Okay.
I believe it was in the span of weeks.
It
Yeah.
took me about 3 weeks or 3 or 4 weeks to finish it.
And so in that time,
Just a lot.
how were Parliament meetings held then? In that time,
I believe
I
we used
personally
the
don't think
old
we had
building.
any. I don't think
but
we had
but
any.
but in the redesign, I don't think. Wait, did we still have like government place in the Among Us house?
Yes,
I
At the
believe we
time?
did.
that's where it was held.
Because I
Okay,
know
I
we
have-
had government in there, but I just
It was held
Uh,
on the second
can't
floor.
remember. Oh
of that
yeah,
building.
yeah, I remember that.
Oh yeah, another benefit of putting the new house on Presidential Boulevard is that we would be able to do parliamentary meetings during its construction.
Oh, that's a good. That's
What-
also a good point.
Can you explain how?
So if we were to do a redesign of the house in its current location, we would have to take down the old building, which would make it unusable for parliament meetings.
Yeah. I mean, we could at the end of the day find like, I mean, we could definitely like probably reuse the Amogus house if we have to.
I don't
If-
believe we
when-
can anymore because now it's proper
Why
apartments.
not?
So we would be
Nobody
we would be
uses
meeting
the
inside
apartments now?
someone's house.
I
Blake
also-
and SNHK
I-
use the apartments.
I think
Yeah.
they'd feel honored though.
I think it'd be kind of funny.
Yes, but we would
like,
need their permission as well.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But they live on the very top floors as well, right?
We used to meet on the top floor.
Yeah, but the building has gotten taller ever since. There's only like
Has it?
2 floors. Now there's like 5. So
Anyway, Sock, what were you trying to say?
Oh, I'm like in favor of having like, I would build a trailer for temp living.
I mean, we could.
I mean,
I mean,
that's funny,
hypothetically,
I
we
like
could
that.
reuse the stadium for Parliament meetings. Technically, we wanted to.
I don't think that'd be the preferred option.
All right,
Why
I have
not?
a question
I
for
don't
Scion.
see using the stadium as anything but a stadium as an option for.
Well,
Yes,
why
I'm
not?
saying that I
Because-
see a small temporary build to be preferable to making a very executive decision over just the fact that we need a meeting room.
Well, that's only
agree
one
with you.
factor.
But I think
Well,
that
yeah, for-
One factor out of multiple.
Yeah.
Right.
So my question is, right, is that like if we do move locations, right, what are we doing with this building? Because either
So-
you need to renovate it, you need to tear it down, or it's just going to stay here.
Simon, didn't you raise
Something.
the idea of using it as storage?
I
Yeah,
don't
last
believe
time.
I
We already have
raised
the
the
government-
idea. Well,
we
the
already have the
government
government shop for that,
warehouse.
so
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's supposed to be a government shop, but we just repurposed it as a warehouse, and it's not even completed.
yeah.
So what I propose is that this be the new location of the presidential house.
I just
It's-
can't.
So wait, sorry, I
I
missed
just-
that. What was the
Honestly,
actually,
proposal?
still,
I do like
with,
that
with that
'cause
idea,
then
wouldn't
it's-
you still have to renovate that house for it anyway?
Yes,
Could
but
be
it can
changed
be
to-
done
could be changed
later.
to-
It can be done later, after we have
We've
the
had
House of the
we've
Republic.
postponed the president house so many times.
Mhm.
Like there is like Sion, you got your own big ass house, right? So it's so why exactly, you know, with the president house, I guess I'm getting at.
Well, I'm not
Just
going to
need
be
a
president
concern.
forever.
Well, yeah, no shit, but I'm just raising the question.
So the presidential house would not only be residence for the president, but also a useful government building, especially for press coverage.
Well, why?
Yeah, there's
is-
there's a press briefing room built into the presidential house.
Mm.
Yep.
Yes, and it can also be used for diplomatic purposes with foreign nations.
Yeah, events and all that kind of things.
I just feel
The
that I'm
president
not
can
a
host
big.
parties.
So true.
Okay. What I'm getting at, right, Sion, is you're saying one of the main problems with like renovating the spot that we have right here is that we'd have to renovate it, right? It would take time to renovate. But
No,
your
not
idea would
specifically.
still-
No, not
I'm
the
saying one of. And we're gonna have to renovate it, even if we make this the presidential house. We're gonna have to renovate it anyway. You're just pushing
You're-
back the deadline.
You're not
to renovate.
exactly getting at what I'm getting at.
Then what exactly
So-
do you mean then? 'Cause I don't know.
In order to make a new House of the Republic that fits our current administration, we would have to extend the boundaries of the property.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whereas if we turn this into a presidential house, we could keep it in the same bounds, and it would be a lot less terraforming work.
Terraforming
But
is probably going to be the
who-
biggest issue because it just
But
takes a
moving
while.
over there is still going to be terraforming work, right?
It is not.
Slightly. Oh, it isn't?
No, it is already pre-terraformed.
That area is just a square.
Yeah, I remember that. I was paid
The-
to terraform it. My bad.
Yeah,
I'm smart.
I'm not a super fan of the shape.
Yeah, like this has shape to it, right? And I feel like this is I feel like even with the president house in mind, I feel like we're still not gonna even do anything with the president house because it's been months and months of planning the presidential house, and we still have not even finalized anything about the presidential house, which is this is gonna be not really used at all, pretty much, right?
I think the
until
biggest
the-
issue is finding a worthy architect that we all like that works and who's willing to build it and not AFK like Vero because I haven't seen him log on in months.
Lol.
Because originally I believe he was the one who wanted to rebuild it, but then
Yeah.
he was never active, so there was no point in hiring him since it take
I think
months
we're
to get
caught
done.
guard by the fact they were online when Sion was streaming the last time he streamed Melonia on like Twitch.
Yeah, I believe that's
Yeah.
that's the last time I saw them online.
Because weren't they on the
Yeah.
stream?
Yeah, they were on the stream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
'Cause it
the
was
other
on the
the
BC.
other thing is that the presidential house has just been on low priority as situations come up. Like the recent architectural work I've had to do has been for foreign relations purposes because the
Yeah.
embassy in Velsor, which should be high priority, and then the border marks, which was high priority because of incidents.
Yeah,
Yep.
because of that one dude in Velsor invading.
Not
Oh, not in
Velsor.
Velsor. It's here.
Oh,
I-
I thought we were talking about that issue.
Yeah.
This is what caused.
But yeah, once we have like nothing high priority to do, then the presidential house project can truly start.
Yeah, so basically, but like, so I feel like we'll never really get started with the presidential house per se, and it's just gonna really be in an indefinite state of like being pushed back and delayed.
That's fair.
So
I guess it's because we as a government don't see a huge demand for it.
yeah, that's pretty much. We don't really.
So
I feel like people
definitely
don't really
keep
feel
the
like there's a
idea in
need
mind.
for a presidential house. I guess.
But I guess while we don't need the presidential house, we can use this building. Maybe don't renovate it yet, but still use it for
Still not.
something.
I'm still not in favor of moving this building. To begin with.
Yeah, I'm sorry if
to
I'm
021
coming off
President-
as
Also, the
antagonistic
name
either,
the
but no.
the name is Presidential Boulevard. Why?
Because the presidential house was planned there.
Yeah, I know why it's called it, but it's called Presidential Boulevard, putting the government building on Presidential Boulevard. Kind of funny.
We could
Well,
change
the name of the
name,
street doesn't
and
matter.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. But I'm just not a fan at all of moving the
Yeah, I
building.
agree with Siestro on that, personally. Not that I have any say, but
I mean, you are a member. This is pretty much a general government discussion. I feel like,
that's fair.
and
I
you
guess
are a
as
minister, so
discussion as a minister, I do have some.
yeah. And this is a ministry area. It's might not be your ministry,
Not
but it's
mine,
still in
that's
like
for
the
sure.
Yeah, it's still in the cabinet of ministers. So
Yeah,
I would
fair.
say, yeah, you
I think
have.
another big question is just how
percent.
long would it take to build, to say tear down this and remodel it?
I
Versus
feel like the thing
build
with
it new.
remodeling this, we don't have to like completely destroy it because we could probably like work like back to front on the building
With
and
Learnamatica, yes.
so
Lightmatica's
yes,
always
it
Lightmatic
wouldn't
would
even
be
be
the
that
last thing to use.
it wouldn't even be that hard to actually keep. It might be like the back of it might be like unusable, but the Parliament Hall would be untouched then, just making it
That's
the
fine,
Parliament Hall
yeah.
actually
Like, we
usable.
could deal with
So
the outside first and then deal with the inside later.
yeah.
Are we? Hold on. Are we looking at which rendition? Are we looking at the part where I included the L front shape, or just the back
Well,
part right now?
like the back part, that's like probably all the officers, I guess. I don't know what that back part is proposed to be.
I have no idea.
Hmm.
I'm just worried about terraforming and making it look good because you'd have to terraform a lot of land to make that look good.
Yeah.
I mean,
On
okay, so
Presidential
what
Boulevard, it
supplies?
would look better.
What supplies would we need for terraforming?
Well, you'd
Take
need a
away.
haste 2 beacon.
Well, you don't
Otherwise,
need
it's going to take you at least a
preferable.
week to terraform that.
Nah,
Couldn't you-
it wouldn't take a week. I could do it in less than that, but
Well, it's still going to take a while without a haste 2 beacon.
yes, absolutely.
I mean,
And that's also saying you've got an efficiency
I-
5 pickaxe and you're willing to spend the time to make the terraforming look good as well.
I'm
I mean,
willing to
shit,
like.
that's what I like doing. So
I have a haste 2 beacon over in Gronia that I haven't been using since I basically completed my project in Agronia, in like West Agronia. I could donate that for the for this project if you wouldn't mind. I would just want it back then. So
But then that's also saying that we have a design in mind for
yeah,
start
we still
terraforming.
need to come up with like design. We're
I'm
just,
I'm
at this
I'm
point,
just
we're just
offering
trying to
it.
figure out where we're even gonna put the damn thing.
Can we like get a vote on how popular moving it is as a general government that's here now? Like just like a not like
Okay,
a
this is gonna. This
not
is
like a
not gonna.
definite vote, but just to see how popular this idea is.
I'm willing to do both. That's the problem. But I'd like to have
Order,
a lot
please.
more security.
Yep, go ahead.
Okay, so with the proposal for a vote, this will not be. I've decided that it will not be recorded on the record, but officially. But we will have we'll have the vote anyway, just so we can continue this discussion. So I will just go down the list of the people who are currently here. So Iso, would you be in favor of moving the location of the Republic? House of the
would.
Republic, excuse me. What was your vote? Okay, Siestro?
I vote nay.
Okay, MP Sock.
Nay.
Okay, Minister Oddball.
And this is to move it, right?
Yeah.
Nay.
President Sion.
Aye.
Okay, I vote nay as well. So we have 2 ayes and 4 nays in this current
To raise
chat.
another point, what we could do is both sides come up with the design, and then whoever has the better design wins. Kind of a challenge, so to say. Like 2 companies like competing for.
We don't really
The
have many
contract.
companies.
Okay,
That,
General Electric.
I'm not.
we don't have
I'm
many
using that
companies.
as
We
an
don't have
example.
many architects though in Malonia that would be active. It would be probably like 2 or 3 people max.
Yeah, I'm not good at building
So that's
shit.
not really an option. I feel like.
I mean, I'll
'Cause-
relent the fact that like the 2 people that do want to move it are the 2 that are actively like, you know, have more experience building and are the ones like Simon was saying, like, oh, I'll design it. Like,
Yeah.
I understand that you 2 have a more active role in it, but I think that
Architecture is
at
just
least
something that takes a while to figure out, and I'd like to make sure that this looks good as a Parliament Hall
yeah,
without
and I understand
sacrificing the utility
logistically.
of it.
Yeah, I guess I don't know.
I'm just staunch in my opinion because I've thought about it for a long time, and it does seem to me like the better option.
Yeah,
Both
and I
the
understand
problem is
that like there are pros to both options.
Oh,
But I
absolutely.
guess just like my gut reaction is
I
not
thi-
just
I think it's-
history, but also landscape and relative area and like the vision that I personally have for the hall based on our discussions does not align
I think
with
it's
presidential ad.
definitely. I think it definitely is down to like personal preference and opinions.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, so
I will agree with that.
I'm gonna BRB real quick because my stomach.
That's fair.
I still like my idea of bringing or like having both sides give a design. Not necessarily competing because we could use design aspects from both.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
obviously.
using both parties bring a design, and then it's like a vote, like full-fledged design, interior and all type deal. Like not just the outside, because sometimes the outside will look good, but the inside sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, the problem there is like the only reason I'm not volunteer design is because I 1 don't have time to do so, and 2 because I don't think that like I would never volunteer myself as the person to be the architect for this job. So I
It's a
feel like
big
it's kind of
project,
a
that's the big thing.
lose-lose situation for the remain in place side. In the sense that it would be an architect versus a not architect. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I got you.
Doesn't make sense.
I mean, So said that he'd be willing for both. For either
Yeah.
one.
I'm willing to do both. I'd just like to see a fully fledged out design for the L shaped, or like, because I would personally like to include the L shape in the current Parliament Hall, and, like bring it out towards the river, because that would just give us more space for a Parliament Hall without
Would-
sacrificing the.
And it would be formed
sub it.
over.
President Sion, if I
wouldn't
wanted
even be
to
forward.
try to get like more exact coordinates of like just how far we could reach the new property in both directions, would that be you or would it be Calvin with city planning?
Can you repeat the question?
Like just looking at like our mock-up with like a red line and a yellow square, like could we get actual dimensions of the possible like limits of our area for expanding the existing building? Property?
That would be something I would be able to do, not just
Okay.
Calvin.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be like soon or anything. But I think
Yeah.
that would also play a factor into like
Yeah, so we
if
can
that
I
sheer
think
L area is hella
For
bigger
the
than
benefit
currently.
of both sides of the issue, I should do dimensions for both the new property and this one.
Yeah. And
That
can
Or
you
at
would
give
least
me
an
help
an
me a lot.
expansion of this
overview
one.
for like your idea as well? That'd be cool for me, just so I can visualize it more.
Yeah.
To me, it's like I want to have like that longer front face, just to, I don't know, show that it's still there and it's not just the small side of a rectangle. That's why I suggested the L, because it gives us a larger front
I mean,
face
not
of the
just
building.
that, it would also make it look more grand. To be like, hey, this is the
That's something I
Parliament.
also am a stickler for. Is I like big grand builds, something that
It's like,
stands
this
out
is the
and
Parliament
shows
Hall.
that.
This is important. This is where a lot of people work and
Yeah.
help with the entire world. You know.
Wait, did
Yeah,
we
the
discuss
Parliament
the
building
materials?
is the most used part of the building.
Did we
Exactly.
discuss the materials?
Not.
No.
There was a document giving some ideas for the materials with
Didn't we say
images that
sandstone?
I
I don't-
recommend.
I remember
Sand-
last meeting.
I've been
For
building
the
with
record,
sandstone
last
a lot.
meeting.
I would not
I remember
recommend
we didn't
using
want wood.
sandstone for the design.
I've been building with sandstone lately, and it just feels interesting because it's almost like quartz, so you can still give that grand aspect to it.
And I'm a
It's
big
so
fan
much
of
less
cut
expensive.
sandstone.
Yes, but also sand in Malonia is scarce.
Money
Actually,
for
there's a
my
desert
home.
just there's a desert north of us, just a little bit, so it's not too bad, but it's still kind of bad.
Okay,
Have you
so
checked that
I'm
desert out
just gonna
recently?
put-
It's quite digged up.
Well, that's from me actually.
Well, I've added to it.
Oh. Oh, I know there's deserts north of it.
Man, I love having the speaker's gavel. Okay, so I just wanted to
Bang,
say
bang, bang,
that I just wanted to, since someone brought up something we said last meeting, I just want to reiterate what we did say last meeting. I don't know why we didn't do this earlier. So we said Parliament generally agrees our current concepts may not translate well to actual Minecraft buildings. So like the current document has like a Gothic architectural style and all that stuff, and with the windows and everything, we believe it doesn't really translate well to Minecraft buildings, and that we would need to see an actual Minecraft build before any approvals could take place. We should stay away from wood at all costs.
Yes.
We
I'm
should
back. What did I miss
trying
out?
to terraform the area for extra space may prove to be difficult, and that's what we said last meeting.
Yeah, I think the terraforming part was big because we're directly next to a mountain. That's probably why it was said.
Excuse me,
It
but what
wouldn't
did I
it
miss
wouldn't be
out
so
on?
much of an it wouldn't be so much of an issue as if it was flatter. But the problem is the way we'd be terraforming would be digging directly into the side of a mountain, which means that
I mean-
terraforming will take longer, which means we have to pay people more. And
I'm perfectly fine with terraforming that mountain. That sounds like a fun project for me.
Question. I have a question. Isn't there terraforming that could be done with like TNT? Or
then
am
we
I
do risk
wrong
blowing
about
stuff
that?
up, though.
Yeah, but if you do it wrong, that's a
You-
whole
you can
mess.
But can it be controlled?
I mean,
But the
TNT
other
can
thing,
be
right, is
controlled,
that you
but it's
mentioned-
It
your
depends on
beacon.
how much trust you put in the people blowing it up.
Like,
We'd have
the
to
other
have
thing
the
is, with a H2
military
beacon,
there,
we wouldn't
probably.
even need a TNT. Because it's just
Yeah.
instant mine.
Yeah.
Because it's not deep slate, it's just normal stone.
Thankfully, it's not deep slate. Deep slate is not fun to mine.
No, it's not. Because even with a H2 beacon, you can't instant mine.
Still takes a while. Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
I have mined out.
Oh, I got efficiency. I got efficiency 5. Hey guys.
But efficiency 5 haste 2 on that mountain should be fun.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, with 3 or
And-
4 people, it
and
probably
that-
only take 20
I'd be
minutes.
fine.
Oh,
Like, if we just want to flatten it out, I can do the terraforming part to make
I would like to point out that the potential materials we get could be put into government stockpile. So
True. But it would be
That's
mostly
also
stone.
a good
I mean,
idea.
that
For
would
future
go to
projects, we
everything.
have a lot of stone to use.
Yeah.
I mean, it would. I mean, yeah, you could potentially put it towards the use of in government building potentially.
Yeah, if
depending
it
on the
uses
design
stone.
we use, yes.
Yeah, that.
And even if
Use
it doesn't
andesite,
use
andesite
stone,
would
it
be
kind
fine.
of pays for when we did the border marks.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Or
there's also saying
if there's any other government project that will need to use stone, it'll be worth it. Especially if someone
All
has a
of the
silk touch
roads.
pickup.
I do.
Literally every single
I also
road.
do.
I guess
Yeah.
also not to like interject at all, but I will be disappearing in 5 minutes because I have work tomorrow. So
that's fine.
please
I
don't
got
take
work.
offense if I disappear.
No problem.
I will be very offended. I'll cry. Live on the recording.
Okay, this is also another question. So say we use the L-shaped design that I recommended. We'd also have to terraform part of the mountain going towards the ocean, which I can't assume will be too much of a hassle. I think it'd just be slightly
Well, we gotta just
more
make sure
annoying.
we don't
So
interfere with
the issue
Zero's
with that
build.
is, yeah, interfering with Velo's build, which has
Where
a
is
surprisingly big interior.
I saw.
where is his
I saw. You see me over
property
here?
though?
I-
I
I'm
do
not-
Yeah,
see
where's
you.
his
I'm
property?
standing like up here.
Come over here.
Look at the sign. That's where I recommended it go to. That's
I
the
said,
sign.
come over here. Come over towards me.
I've been in
And
Vero's
in
base.
and in here,
Is it
this is
grown?
Vero's build.
Has grown.
I don't remember what it is exactly. But so
where's
yeah.
his-
Oh shit.
Oh. That's why I recommended only going to about like right here, roughly on
Yeah.
the map, or just about to the lightning rod.
I mean, also, I think there's lava in the build, so that could be an issue.
I recommended just going to the lightning rod because I mean, it's seen, so people would know that we would stop
I'm-
terraforming here.
Where's the lightning rod at?
Just over here.
That might still touch the build.
It might, but it's underground.
Can I get the coordinates for that real quick?
The lightning rod.
Yeah.
187, 99, negative 1069.
Can you paste that in Minecraft or type it at least?
I gotcha.
I have a question, actually. If we're
Yes.
going to be terraforming to this point, why do we need an L-shaped design?
That's a good point.
I think we will.
Why
interfere
don't
with
we
the
do
build.
something more rectangular?
That is a good point. Just turn this thing into a big rectangle. We'd still have the grand facing
Yeah.
front.
Oh, that's
We'd also
a
be
great
able
point.
to-
I like that.
Yeah.
And it will basically be the shape of the one that's in Presidential Boulevard.
And L-shaped buildings tend to not... Rectangular buildings tend to look better than L-shaped buildings.
Yeah.
I agree. That's actually a really good idea. So yeah, we could do that. And then we'd have to put the, would we put the entrance like central, or would we put it more to the left or to the right?
If we want to put it
I mean-
central, then we would have to change how the road looks.
I mean, technically you wouldn't. You just have to. You might.
Yeah.
Maybe. Hold on. If you could just take this road that interjects like right here, and just add some stairs, it'd be a four-way intersection that goes straight up into the.
Technically, you'd still make this area square of the House of the Republic.
Yeah,
More
like,
square than it is.
you would need to make those stairs steep. And
It would
typically in
have to be,
Malonia,
like,
we
regular
we
stairs.
avoid steep roads. Unless it's,
Yeah.
like,
Oh.
actually necessary, like with the
I think
Presidential
it also-
Boulevard way into Agonia.
It would also give the appearance that it's grand and higher up, though. Sure, if
That
that's
would
a
be
appearance we're
maybe a
looking
bit
for.
little overkill.
I mean,
Because
it might be a little bit overkill, but I think it
everything
looks-
else about the building is trying to look grand.
Yeah, fair enough. But I like the idea of making this look as grand as possible.
I mean, we have to remember that this building needs utility as well.
I mean, it'd still have utility. I believe the Parliament Hall would probably still be on the right side, and the offices, like the central area, could be
Didn't
in the
we
middle.
suggest that the
and
Parliament
left.
building could be in the back?
Yes, a little bit.
That way
How
the
we come up with
offices
that?
could be in the front.
It's a good idea.
It's interesting.
Want good windows. I'm a big window
Windows,
guy.
Microsoft.
There's a lot of good designs that are voiced, but seeing them drawn out would be another idea. Something might not work as you'd expect it to, or might not look as good.
Especially with all of our references being like IRL pictures.
Yeah.
Those were
Mommy.
only intended to be used for inspiration anyway.
I know.
It's hard to transfer real look to block game.
Yeah, and that was never the intention anyway.
Oh, let me grab an exterior of a building that I was thinking of.
Well, I will catch y'all in the next one.
Alright,
Yeah.
gone.
Block is dead.
I don't know,
Rip.
my mind went to something like this, and as weird as this sounds, I think it would look really cool if we could do something like this. The images loading in Parliament.
I'm here.
It'll only
waiting.
take a second, maybe 2
My
seconds.
life's taking its time.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. I don't know. I like the idea of a big clock tower.
What
I-
what utility would that have?
Well, the clock tower wouldn't have any utility. It would look cool, but I mean, you
That
have the Parliament Hall
would
on the right.
honestly be a waste of materials unless there's something inside the clock tower
Well,
that's
no,
actually useful.
Not as in like the clock tower part, but I like the idea of having a right side for the Parliament Hall and
Like,
a left side.
I do
for the-
agree that having a tower like that would be cool, as long as it had a use and it wasn't just materials being poured into
It
aesthetics.
could have a tourist use. Could use
I
it
mean,
to look down on the
also,
city.
also raising your point, I don't
Maybe
remember when you
get
brought
up
this
there.
up, but with the army or with the army and its like little guard post towers, you could put a guard post tower all the way on the top of there.
I was thinking of that, but didn't want to oppose it here.
No, I proposed it for you.
Wow.
But yeah, I really like the idea of having the buildings being more separate between the executive and parliament.
But
Like,
I guess like the wings.
like I feel like parliament's offices and hall should be separate from the executive branch's offices
That's an interesting point.
because they are two separate branches that do their own
Yeah,
thing.
Put the
maybe
executive
like
offices
parliament
in the clock
offices are
tower.
on the first floor and executive branch offices are on the second floor.
Or you
You
put
could do
the
that.
executive offices in the clock tower.
No.
That way you know always when the time is.
I
Don't want to
think
feel
it'd be
high and
cool.
mighty up there.
King Louis behavior.
I don't know. It was an idea.
It was definitely an idea.
I don't know.
And
I'm
it's
still
a-
looking at like a sandstone Parliament Hall just because sandstone is just really easy to build with and it'll look good.
The roof
Now with
stand-
the image you sent, I think stone bricks would be more appropriate.
I think like a deep slate roof would work in sandstone bottom, but
No, maybe a
You-
actually no, a mix of deep slate roof and copper roof.
ooh, that's a good idea.
like oxidized copper.
Well,
And
it
blue?
would eventually get oxidized. We wouldn't hire someone to deoxidize it.
But some- I mean, they'd be paying somebody.
The,
or they-
it's like the roof that the Church of Og pays to be unto him.
Oh yeah, it could have accidental religious significance.
No. God, interference with government.
I mean, I
Separation
do
of
like
church and state.
Yeah.
I do like the idea of having like a Parliament Hall of that design choice. 'Cause it still has the utility, but it also looks good, and that's also why I keep
Yeah.
recommending sandstone because I've been building with sandstone so much, so at least I just love building with it now. Unlike with stone bricks, it can get repetitive, the same pattern over and over and over again. And with sandstone, you can include stuff like lighter colored stone bricks, and then having deep slate accents would also be quite nice to have. Because if you start off with a lighter colored build, you can texture it a lot better and give accent colors versus starting with a deep slate build and now you're stuck with a dark colored palette.
So I am
Or we
really
could use
against using sandstone because
Or we could just use bricks.
like lead
I feel like
bricks.
sandstone has its place and time, but it's not a government.
Yeah, no,
Look.
it's a bit of a cheap material, just in its vibe. And
I
it
feel
would
like-
also stick out like a sore thumb instead of as a
I feel like it's
grand
not the
thing.
fact that it's cheap. I feel like it's like a kind of like a, I guess you could say like fun
Or not
style. I guess
cheap,
like
but
playful. I guess
like primitive.
I can agree
Slightly.
with that.
Or we
Like
could use
goofy.
bricks. Bricks are also another idea.
Lead
like
bricks.
Bricks.
brown bricks and white
Bricks would be a bit interesting to work with, but I feel like
Yeah.
it'd probably end up looking more like a factory building than anything
Exactly.
else.
Yeah, stone bricks seems to be the way to go.
We'd have to do a lot of texturing and like just in general
Yeah.
detailing though, because otherwise stone bricks just looks like a big flat wall. That's not good.
Hmm.
Either that or we can try a quartz design.
How expensive would quartz be though? Because you'd need a lot of quartz to make that building. And I think you might be able to trade with villagers.
Yeah, I think
it,
there
but
is a
I-
trade, but it would also be an opportunity to give the Millennium citizens work to do because they can gather quartz for us and we can pay them.
For the first time
It's
in Millennium history,
Right.
labor.
See, yeah, I'm checking to see if there's any villager quartz trades that I have in my villagers, but I don't think I have any. That's why I recommended bricks, because you can trade with villagers quite easily, and it's very cheap to trade with them, but or you could use Piglin bartering. That's always a decent idea. They give a lot of
Always
stuff.
fun. Not hard to set up an automatic one either.
No, it really isn't hard to set up an automatic one.
And
The
it would give
Mason
Oddball a
is
thing to do.
Finally, give me something to do. I have nothing to do as Minister of Science.
Yeah, the
Or
Masons
my
sell
baby
quartz.
things, I have nothing to do.
So the current amount is 1 emerald for 1 block of quartz.
Oh,
At
that's
least that's
easy.
what I have my villagers at. Which, I mean, it's there, and all 4 of my villagers have that. And, I mean, we do have a villager trading hall with masons,
Who
so it'd be
who's
quite
playing with
easy to get a bunch
change?
of quartz.
Me.
But I think
That's what I thought.
quartz would probably be best as like an accent color, not as the main color,
Possibly.
because otherwise you'll look up towards the Parliament Hall and just see this big block of quartz. You're like, huh?
Yeah, quartz would work with the light texturing.
You'd have to use white concrete, tough blocks, or not tough blocks. What are they called? Calcite. That's what it's called. Calcite blocks.
Calcite's cool. It's a good block.
Calcite is really cool, and it's also really nice because you can texture with quartz really easily with calcite.
Yeah, because it's just a really pretty, nice white.
Yeah, it's an off-white color that goes perfect with texturing quartz.
Along with all the other texturing you can already do with quartz.
It's easy to texture with quartz. Actually, that's a good idea. It is easy to texture with quartz.
Yes, yes it is.
So if we were to make a predominantly quartz design, it'd be easier to texture. So like a random person could just come and texture it. We wouldn't have to spend hours figuring out the best way to texture it.
Or we could come up with a nice looking pattern.
Yes, or that gives me an idea. We could use like glazed
Yeah, I'd rather
terracotta,
be-
make it look cool.
It depends on if there's one of the textures that actually works.
Yes,
Yeah.
because terracotta is finicky at best.
Yeah, you gotta finish. You gotta do things with it.
Damn, that typing.
I was gonna say something, but I forgot.
I feel like the questions we've raised so far about the
Oh
Parliament
yeah, I
Hall
just remembered what I said.
is always good.
What I was gonna say. I want the new House of the Republic to have like separate exterior and interior, so that the interior can have like different walls than the exterior.
A double layered wall.
Yeah.
I guess that's a good idea.
I love double layer.
So
walls.
it not only makes the building like look better,
Look good.
but it will also be a bit of a defense against griefing.
Yeah, because you
Well,
have
at
to
least
blow open
watch
through
what
two
SNHK did.
layers.
Golden boots.
Golden boots.
Oh no.
I don't know. Double layering is actually a really good idea though.
Yeah.
And it looks really cool.
Nice. And it looks really cool. I don't have anything else to add with the design wise, besides the fact I don't want to design it. The only way I design it if I get paid like 100,000 mellets, because that's a big
That-
building to
We
design.
don't have that money.
It's such a huge building. We'd have to. Whoever's the architect would have to be paid a heavy sum of money, though. Because a building that size is not easy to design and make it look good at the same time. It's also the ease of gathering the materials, which is why I had originally suggested sandstone, because it's quite easy to gather. So, yeah, I guess stone bricks as well is also really easy
So-
to gather.
A recent Mineco invoice will reveal that sand is gonna be like. Basically, there's a lot of sand being bought right now, so.
Buying that much sand.
Oh, Oddball.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the invoice is to Calvin.
Oddball's back.
What do you need so much sand for?
My mic had a problem. So
He
I had
has
to
a
leave my-
personal project.
Ah, fair enough.
Who does?
Calvin.
Oh, that makes sense. Oh, is it the one I think it is?
Probably.
I don't know, I'm just the Mineco guy.
That's fine.
And the president, but we'll ignore that one.
Yeah, I don't have direct authority over his life choices.
Mostly. Just his government ones. For anyone curious, if they're listening, I'm cleaning my room. That's why you hear all the change.
How much money?
Got a lot of change.
Not a lot. I mean, how many quarters I have? Probably about $6 and change.
You could buy something with that.
I could. I'm not gonna, but I could.
You could.
You could subscribe to the Patreon with that money.
No.
You have a, oh yeah. I
What if
forgot
you subscribe to these nuts?
To the people
Oh.
Thank you,
watching the
Speaker.
Parliament, you can support the
Yeah, people
Patreon.
watching, subscribe to the Patreon.
Only if
Yeah.
you're
I'm
in
not
a
gonna
financially
die.
stable situation. We don't want
Patreon.
to take your
Okay.
money if it's not to be taken, you know?
I agree, Simon.
Oh, this is a question that I had. What does the Patreon all entail? Like, what are we funding the server for?
So,
I didn't exactly
the
read
server-
announcement.
surprisingly, costs money to run.
Okay, I know that much.
Surprisingly.
I think
So,
that's about it.
I was wondering because I know Velser
any
just recently
any kind
did it, so
of
we could.
Patreon tier will allow Michael to better fund the server because it won't be out of pocket. And then
So true.
anything higher can lead to server upgrades.
But yeah, such as 1.20 and such. Because I know that's what Velser is doing right now. They have a Patreon that they're trying to figure out funding for a 1.20 server. I thought we
Yeah,
were doing the same
we're in the
thing.
middle of that too. Scion donated $5, and I already used that to upgrade the server's RAM a little bit.
There's so many people online now.
Yeah, I know. I hope has the RAM upgrade helped overall.
I believe
I mean,
it
it's
has.
it's noticeable
Yeah.
when there's a ton of people online, and especially when you're thousands of blocks away. It's definitely
Okay.
noticeable.
But
runs
is
a
it
lot
better than
smoother.
it was before?
Definitely.
Okay, that's
It's
good.
definitely smoother, and it definitely runs better.
Like,
There
it
are still some
probably
random
could be
lag
better,
spikes,
but
that's
you know,
TPS.
that would be more money.
I mean, it
There
would be
are-
$1 more after that. Just make it 6 gigs, which might be better.
Yeah,
There
6
are,
gigs
like-
isn't needed at this point.
No.
The only issue I find is some random TPS drops, but that's purely because there's so many chunks loaded, and that's not a
Yeah, I
RAM
was gonna
issue.
say,
That's
that's
just
due to the Minecraft
that's just the
server
TPS
itself.
being a TPS.
That's Minecraft being Minecraft for you.
Yeah, it's not bad. That's fine.
Do we have enough RAM to do Dynmap?
Good question,
We could
because I think
upgrade.
Dynmap would definitely
Wait,
be a worthy
didn't-
addition.
Didn't we try doing Dynmap? Like,
Yeah, but
We
We
that's
tried
tried
that.
doing Dynmap very early on.
yeah, like the very first days of
How
Malloy,
hard
and
did
we're
it
like,
fail?
bad.
Lamb was for breakfast.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
bad.
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dynmap's
I mean, we had.
I'll say
had it
that
in-
right now, according to the mem command from Essentials, there's currently about 1.4 gigabytes free on the server.
Fair
That's
amount.
currently
but
not
I'm
being
not
used.
sure. I'm not sure how much. I assume Dynmap would probably take up at least a gigabyte of RAM,
I mean,
especially given how many people are online.
So maybe
I know.
adding Dynmap would just cost another $1.
We could test it out, but I mean,
I would like to
required-
say
if
that
it doesn't work well, we just remove it.
I would like to say that Melontown had Dynmap, and I don't know
did,
how
yeah,
strong of
Melontown
a
did have
server
Dynmap.
that was.
But that's also saying I know how Velsor's Dynmap runs really well because they have a limited world border, and I know that
Oh, that's
we
a world
don't have a world
border.
border.
What's theirs?
Theirs is like 27,000 blocks or something like that.
So
They did it-
hypothetically,
well-
we do have the 30,000 limit. 30 million limit.
Well, yeah, well, the reason why they did it is they're still counting on updating to 1.20. So there's preventing people from exploring too far. So they can just update to
Yeah.
1.20, increase the world border to infinite, and then have the new biomes. But
I
the
mean,
way we'd have to
realistically,
do
no one's gonna go that far, really. in
realistically,
Velcro.
nobody's going to be sane enough to go that far out. But I mean,
Except for you.
would the Dynmap stretch to the 3 million block limit, or would it stay in like a certain area? I don't know
I
how
think it
Dynmap
might
works.
just
There
stay
might
in
be a
like
setting.
like
I
territory
think the
that's
time map
explored.
stays in areas that players have explored.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's actually really nice.
I believe is how it works. Don't quote me on that. I believe that's how it works.
Fair enough. I think it's worth giving it a test. But if it doesn't
I
work
would
too well, and if
probably upgrade the server to 6 gigs of RAM when putting Dynmap in, just to give it a little extra breathing room. But yeah,
yeah, I feel like we should definitely test it with 5 first. And then
we
just to see if
could.
it.
Well,
If it
we
makes
have
the
to pick
server
a
lag-
particular day, though.
I mean, we
Like,
could
we would
do
have
it
to
now.
make sure it interferes with the least amount of people.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
doing it right now would be a bad idea. We've got some
10 people online, yeah, bad idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially with Nazvani citizens online, that might not react well
it'd be
to
best
it.
to do it. It'd be best
Yeah.
to do it with just Malonian citizens online.
Or
So
even
I'd
with
say we-
no citizens online, if possible. Like, maybe the test is performed in, like, the morning.
I know we could do something like Elsor does. They do like a daily reset of the server at 5 a.m. or whatever. I actually kind of like that idea of daily resetting the server just to make sure it's fresh every day. Because I know this server's been on for 2,860 minutes, which is a fairly long time. But
That is approximately 2 days, by the way.
I mean, it's not bad. But I mean, Velsor, I just checked, has been on for like 970, which is roughly from now to 5 a.m. in the morning. Which is, I mean,
Do they
It's not
have
a
like
bad
an
idea to
auto
do a daily
restart or
yeah, they have an auto restart at 5 a.m. I don't know exactly how they did it because I'm not exactly a server guy. But
there
I
might
feel
be
like
a
it'd be
server option for it in the Pebble Host control panel, but otherwise it might just be a plugin that restarts the server.
I feel like it definitely be a
If we
worthwhile
do
thing to ask
that,
them.
maybe because we do have a lot of like British people, I guess, people in other time zones. Maybe the time we choose is 3 a.m.
Yeah, because
How many
that's
citizens
that's 9 a.m. British time.
How many citizens in Bazvan are from like overseas?
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, that's why I wouldn't know either. So
And amount.
I guess what we could do is we could just ask people in general and just kind of figure out what times people are less likely to be online.
point. Because I mean, preferably, I mean, it'd be a really nice addition.
I say
to have.
3 a.m. because I know that's when HUD gets online.
That's a good point.
3 a.m. your time or CST?
My time. So EST.
Would be
2
2
CST.
a.m. CST.
2.
Yeah, 2. I mean, that's still early enough in the morning. And it'd be.
Yeah,
And we could also
I mean,
give them a
at
warning,
that
like,
point,
hey, we're gonna-
like those in the United States, if they're like doing stuff
If
on
they're
Melonia that late, they probably won't mind a reset.
You probably need sleep anyway.
Well,
Either that, or you know your sleep schedule is bad and you're paying the consequences for it. Just
Here's the thing,
Shut
my sleep schedule is I start work at
Don't
4
call me out
o'clock
like
in the
that.
morning. So
I'm
I
calling
mean,
myself out on that, not you.
no.
yeah, my work starts at 4 o'clock in the morning, so I'm usually dead asleep. The reason I'm on today is because I finally got the day off. Yeah. What are the other plugins that are currently like? Are we looking at any other plugins besides Dynmap, or is it just Dynmap right now?
I don't believe so.
I guess
I
it would
don't
just
know
be
any.
whatever plugin is needed for the Arcovian Covenant spot to work in our server.
That's fine,
Oh, yeah, I guess we wanted some sort of parity between that. Like where we wanted the Discord bot to function in the server.
Yeah.
Hey, I have a question, by the way.
I mean, we could potentially do it where the bot could just listen for what a specific thing people type in the chat
That would probably be the best option. Could
instead
probably
of
be the
having to make a
simplest
whole
option.
server plugin. Just
Probably be
for
the simplest option.
I in
'cause-
Minecraft
so
chat.
instead of slash, yeah, so instead of slash, you could do like exclamation point Discord bot do the thing or whatever, and then like
Do the thing.
I don't know, and then like
My
do it
one
that
issue
way.
with that is that it's not really intuitive.
I don't know what's unintuitive about that.
The unintuitive part is that people typically, when they play on a Minecraft server, if they don't know how a command works, they will typically do slash the command help.
Oh, that's a good idea. That is fair.
I guess we could probably just make a very basic thing where you could do help for that, and then it'll tell you how to do it. I don't know.
Hey, I
That
have
and
a-
also
or we can-
it would be
I just
broadcasted
don't want
to
to
other
because
people.
messing with Minecraft server plugin creation is very annoying because the APIs are not documented very well, and it's very annoying to actually write a Minecraft server plugin. So I really just don't want to bother.
Okay.
Hey, quick question.
But I know people that can make plugins if it comes down to it.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
think
this is
that
easier.
like that parity plugin thing would be hard, but if it is hard, then whatever solution is actually easier will prevail.
I had a quick question.
Yes?
So, are we still having the parliament meeting, or is this now just general discussion?
This is still technically the
This
parliament
is
meeting.
still Parliament
I
meeting.
know, that's why I'm asking. So, do we want to try and end it, or we just still keep going?
Is there anything? To be honest, I kind of zoned out for a while, so
Yeah.
I don't
Sorry,
actually
it's
know
retention.
how did the House of the Republic thing come to a conclusion?
It really didn't, to be
It
fair.
really
I don't
didn't.
think it did.
It's an open-ended conversation.
This is
Yeah,
going to be a
it's-
conversation for the next like 5 parliaments. Oh my gosh.
Yes, it is.
It's
Yes,
been
there's
the
there's
past
so many
5 times.
aspects. We at
Wow.
least are closer to getting it started because
Yeah.
we have the general idea that like a design should be made and approved, and we have a inspiration image now.
We have a lot of the factors that we can look into
Oh.
and debate how we want to make a thing.
But there's a lot to be done.
Michael,
Yeah,
involving your
absolutely.
question with the server and lag, it's only bad when you're further away from the central spawn area.
Okay.
So like when you're thousands of blocks away,
Okay.
that's the only place I've noticed any sort of difference. Only sometimes as well. Like when it's raining, it's really bad. Otherwise, it's just normal.
Oh yeah,
most
rain.
other times.
Great.
Rain is bad. It's terrible.
Okay.
Little bit
right
of
now
an
the server's
unrelated
overall
question.
TPS is 20, which is the right number.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not the server
What's up,
like
Sion?
RAM. It's just also with the amount of people online. The further you are away from the spawn chunks, the laggier it's going to be. It's just a given.
Yeah. So my
nothing
question
about
is,
that.
are the spawn chunks still in that mesa that we started out with?
Yes. Spawn chunks. I don't think they can be moved. The spawn can be moved, but I don't believe the chunks themselves can be moved.
Okay. So it could be an interesting idea to set up the spawn chunks as a public farm only kind of place.
Oh, that'd actually be a really good idea. And put some
Interesting.
farms there that are less, like, I don't want to say lag intensive, but because then they'd always be running. The spawn chunks, no matter what, will always be running when a server's online.
Even if there's no.
I mean, I guess it's just a way to use the extra RAM.
It is. I don't know exactly where the spawn chunks are. Let me actually run over there and
There
check.
might be a way to find out.
I don't know exactly the way to find out, but I believe.
Like maybe you can find out with the seed.
I'm checking the seed map right now. I know it's in the mesa, but I know it's also in like a really hilly section of the mesa.
Yeah, so maybe we would set it up as like a platform, I guess.
Yeah,
Or
I'm
like
flying
a
over to
building itself.
see where the spawn chunks are.
And it is a little unrelated because we wouldn't even start that project until a long while
Oh,
later.
I don't think this project is exactly needed. Yeah, no, the
Yeah, it's
spawn
not
chunks are on the
needed
top of a
currently.
mountain.
I don't think it's needed in
Yeah,
general.
the spawn chunks
But
are
it's-
currently on top of a mountain.
I think it's worth knowing about that opportunity, though.
There's also an open dungeon right next to the spawn chunks.
Oh,
Also, there's another portal in the spawn chunks. That's worth investigating. Oh, and the remnants of a wither fight, as it turns out.
hold on.
That was from me. I remember that.
Oh, okay. Because I
was
remember
when-
the Gazvani people
was-
were doing a wither fight. So if they
That was when
accidentally
Joe
did
and I
it on
first.
our territory, that might have been a little bad.
No, that was when Joe and I first fought the Wither, and we decided to, for some reason, not do it in a cave.
Why did you?
No.
What?
I don't know. I don't know exactly what our thought process was. Oh, whatever the thought process was, it wasn't smart.
No, it wasn't.
I might have been because we couldn't find a cave, or we were just too lazy to find a cave.
I mean, wither mining is always nice too.
I love wither mining, especially for deep slate. Thousands of times easier.
Well, yeah, because it's the only thing that can actually break it that easily.
Because it's instant.
Definitely faster than trying to do it by hand.
Learn, well, yeah. For some reason, I still mine deep slate by hand.
I do
For some
too,
reason.
but it's definitely not the best way.
Nope.
So, whenever I have any spare time, which I guess I might not have spare time until like a couple weeks because my primary project right now is reworking the roads in Belltown. And also got some IRL stuff coming up.
What?
Getting your
the-
driver's
What is
license.
what are the roads that need reworking?
Calvin and I are kind of winging it.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I can help. I have a bunch of leftover cobblestone from a project I've been working on.
The resources aren't the issue; it's the design that's the important
Oh, okay. Because I see it's been flattened out. But
thing. Yeah, we need to. Basically,
You, like-
Belltown was an abandoned village a bit. Basically, we're not
yeah,
abandoned
no,
because
because
it doesn't
I
have the
stole all the
cobwebs.
villagers from.
Oh, you stole
stole all
all
the
those
villagers from
villagers. You missed
Yeah.
one.
Except for one. There's still one.
Yeah, I know I missed one. One was kept there. I think it was a nitwit that I didn't take or whatever.
Yeah. So I have a plan to take that villager and put him on display in the middle of Belltown. Just because I thought it would be funny.
I 100%
Walks
support
around
that
him.
decision. That'd be funny.
Tortured the villager.
It's not torture.
No,
He's got a house.
it's just like, a glass cage. Maybe there's a sign that says the Republic
Oh,
of
it's
Malonia
silly.
and its power over the game mechanics.
So it's.
See, I was gonna give him a house and just replace the door with glass, but that was not where my mind went.
He's power tripping. The president's power tripping.
It's okay because it's funny and also not a citizen.
Okay, he's got a point. He's not a citizen.
He's got a point. It's not a citizen, therefore it is completely legal because the villager is not currently being.
I mean, not legal, but moral as well.
Oh yeah, completely moral. There's no morals being broken here.
I mean, you said it was a nitwit, right?
Yeah, exactly. Nitwit. A good for nothing. Nobody.
I mean, it's good for something. Looking funny.
No. No, we gave it a use. That doesn't mean he was good at anything.
I mean, it's quite a cushy job to be the subject of public humiliation.
Oh yeah, cushy job. Yeah, what did we pay him?
Absolutely nothing.
We give him quarters.
Not
Oh,
even
wishing
emeralds?
well.
Wishing well.
Throw an emerald at the villager for good luck. That's bad. I shouldn't say that, but it's still
so
funny.
dumb. Can that be a thing?
But yeah,
That sounds-
essentially, I don't want that one villager to be killed because that would be so, like, a loss of potential.
Yes.
Actually, that is a good idea. We could make like one of those item randomizers, and if you throw an emerald in, it randomizes an item and then chucks it out at you.
Yes.
I think
I would
that'd be
totally
fun.
Turning the
Yeah.
villager into a gambling item.
No, no, no.
Gambling.
A
The
wishing
start of
well.
Melonian gambling addiction.
It's not. It's not gambling. It's a wishing well.
It's insane.
Your wish just
I
won't
can't
miss.
wait for Melonian gambling laws.
That's gonna be me. I'm just gonna be gambling all the emeralds I have away to the villager.
That sounds about right.
I did
honestly.
have a personal project in mind to build a casino.
Actually, I feel like that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, the issue is I don't have the funding.
That's a good point. I mean,
you'll gain the funding once you break the
Yeah.
casino. I mean, what? I mean, completely normal casino.
off-topic question, but how many potential citizens do we have in the migration office currently?
Let me see.
Any? Because I mean, like, I don't know exactly how to advertise a server like this, nor am I really like
There are
keen on
5,
advertising a server. 5? Ooh, that's a good amount.
though.
That's quite a few.
Is it at like a standstill with all 5 of them, or?
Yeah, there's like some which may not be accepted because they're Dazvani citizens who have committed crimes, so that's just a negative outlook.
Haven't all the Dazvani citizens committed crimes?
Surprisingly, not Osbam.
Okay, not Melonian crimes, right? Because I know the Kirnish people don't exactly.
Osbam did
like
get pardoned
him.
for his war crimes, so I guess those wouldn't count anymore.
That was the one that, and I know he got kicked out of their military or whatever a few times.
Yeah, but that's not like a crime. That's just basically losing your job and getting publicly
Yeah.
humiliated for a bit.
Yeah, fair enough. Any Velsor citizens coming in, or no?
Yeah, Josephine is still awaiting interview.
Okay. But any from like that's not Josephine, or is it just? You know, I want to say that's probably a good thing, but I know there's like one or
Just
two with the
Citizens from
Citizens
other
are-
nations will just basically it'll be easier to process them because we can take information from the nations they hail from.
It is, and there's definitely a few from Velsor who I would 100% recommend never allowing, but that's just personal preference.
I mean, I might be able to agree.
Because, I mean, I don't know the experiences you've had with a few of them, but one of them is literally a serial crime person.
I
The
believe
other
I
one
know who
has-
you're talking about, but
Aubrey?
for the sake of not like publicly like defaming them, I won't
Oh.
like say who they are.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. But yeah, one of them is a serial crime spree person who currently has 5 ongoing, 4 completed and another ongoing trial against them. One of them invaded a foreign country and blew up a desert. Another one has griefed several bills. Yeah, they're just almost Oman level of annoyance, which is saying a lot. Yeah, they view crime as more of a funny joke than an actual like
Crime.
real. Yeah. Which is why I've currently stopped playing on Velsor, because they aren't very friendly either.
Yeah. I wonder what would happen if they vandalized the embassy.
Oh, that'd be hell to pay.
Yeah, that like
There would be hell to pay.
we would probably need reparations or something.
Honestly, my mind went war, because that's a
No, not war.
embassy that you've just like.
Not
Definite.
Not again.
Well,
Not only because
not
war is
not
bad
exactly
and
war.
not like
War is bad.
something we want, but also because war would be impractical.
I was half paying attention.
Oh, yeah.
When the hell did we come up with war?
Welcome back, Siestro.
yeah, welcome
Listen,
back. We're
listen,
talking about war.
I've been so zoned out.
Well, we were
We
talking
were
about
discussing the
citizens being-
possibility of the Millennium Embassy on Velsor being vandalized and what would happen. What we
given
would
the
do if
fact
that
that-
happened.
War.
Isn't okay?
no,
So
not
isn't
war.
the embassies? Aren't the embassies subject to Melonian laws? If I'm correct,
Yeah.
like this Hyrnis
So-
embassy
Yeah,
is
but
uh
under our
Hyrnis
law,
laws in Melonia.
only citizens can see like judicial system justice.
I feel like we should
Hmm.
definitely change that.
So is that under the
Anybody
criminal
on
code
the
that it's
property?
only citizens?
That might be constitutional.
I feel,
So,
I feel like it
I think it's going to be probably tough to go about that. It's going to have to be an international thing, which we probably never have thought about. Which, to be fair, yeah.
Wait, let me
You-
read the text to make sure I'm not bullshitting.
also bringing on your statement, yeah, a war on a different server would be extremely impractical.
yeah, oh hell
because-
yeah! But
Not,
I mean-
yeah, not only are we on a completely separate server, but we'd be outgeared completely.
and the server literally blocks you in a queue until you're freed.
Yeah, okay, I do slightly like that. But-
mm,
I also like the idea of just putting them in adventure mode, so they can still
I
kind
like
of
the white.
explore
I
around.
just like the whitelist idea. That's good enough
But yeah,
for
also
me.
the whitelisting idea.
So after reading the text, our judicial system can work against someone who isn't a citizen.
I mean, hell, we had the
I
fucking.
guess let me see the criminal code.
No, we had the Hyrnis Empire still.
Oh
as an
yeah,
entity.
all laws can be applied against non-citizens.
Okay.
So yeah, we're good there.
So yeah, we
how
can
does
we can try vandals in Melonian Court.
I
how
don't
did
think
this discussion end up happening?
because I was raising the question of citizenship with other nations like Velsor and Desmond and stuff.
Oh shit.
Because I raised the issue that a lot of the Velsor citizens
I got
think of
jumpscared
crime
by a
as a
damn
joke.
skeleton.
Yeah, I raised that was the question.
I mined the strip oak by the fucking thing by the courthouse, which I didn't know led to a ditch.
Oh.
Did you guys know about this?
Yeah, no, the reasoning behind what we were talking about is I had raised the question of
BRB.
Velsor citizens going to Melonia and the fact that their laws about crime are extremely lax.
I think we're gonna definitely have to keep an eye out on them and only permit them to come on when there's an actual official on.
And that's
Right.
that's also I don't know if any of you guys heard me when I said that we should have somebody like almost watching them or like kind of watching them at all times.
I mean, we'll need a guide if they want to be toured around, no matter what, right?
Yeah, you
So-
need a guide, but I mean,
Mm.
a lot of them think of crime as purely just good fun and jokes, when in all reality, it's really.
it's
not.
annoying.
I mean,
Like, what
given that-
crimes have committed in Velsor? Because I don't know if you guys discussed this, because I was like not.
Oh, I had-
Velsor, in
I had-
its short existence, has had more
Has
criminal
had-
cases than Melonia has had in its entire history.
that's correct. There's
Yeah,
I
and
have-
most of the criminal
okay.
cases were. We never had a criminal case in the city of Melonia itself, if I remember correctly.
What do you mean?
In like when it was called the city of Melonia.
Oh yeah, no, we didn't have one of those called city. But to in your fact, there's two known, or at least I know of, there's two against one citizen by me because
Aubrey?
they've griefed and vandalized my base twice.
Is it
Um,
Aubrey?
Yes.
Yeah.
Whatever his name went to the Manaborian border and blew up a few of the landmines that they were testing. So
I
that person was tried in Hyrnish and Manborian court. The Aubrey
Like-
person has now 5 cases against them.
Like, why isn't the Velsor like? Why is Velsor like
Um,
kind of let them go scot free? It's just like,
I
oh,
I
cool.
will
That's fine.
in court case number 4, which is the one that Tava and I took part in because him and I were on a call, just kind of discussing things in the Velsource server. When we both joined the like the court case and was judged them, it was kind of the most chaotic thing ever. So
like,
the judge
So they
was
don't take the crime seriously, and they don't take the judicial thing seriously as well.
yeah, their judicial branch in short terms is a complete mess. They appoint
Like,
random citizens as judges. They permitted Tava to be a judge for some odd reason.
Why do you have two
Actually-
judges?
Well, no, like in separate cases, they for some
Oh.
reason it took them 4 months or like whatever to figure out one court case, which is a long time. And in short, it's just a cluster charge of useless information that they never use and just take forever to do anything with.
So, like, the Malone court is very efficient, from what I'm getting at, especially in the course of cases against SNHK and Oman, right?
Yeah, no, that was streamlined compared to what Velsor did.
Yeah, but I feel like even if it's like, it shouldn't be that hard to, especially if it's blatantly obvious, right?
Yeah, it was,
Like,
and
there's
they're still
hard
working
evidence,
on
right?
Court Case 5, and I think they mainly forget about crime after a few days, whereas we have it as like a main staple that you shouldn't.
I'm
And I know
not.
for a fact my base has been griefed multiple times by the same person. So
I'm not a
it's,
big fan of like surveillance on Minecraft servers. Like Core Protect, I like, right? But like just like just watching it all the times, like how like the old like Gates Hava proposal, wasn't a big fan of that, right? But I think when it comes to like a Minecraft server, just you definitely have to have, you can't really have super lax punishments, especially when you're a case by case. You've been committing crimes the entire time you've been on the server.
that's
Right?
that's
Like,
why I raised the
SNH
idea of I mean,
SNHK committed treason, was banned for like what, a month, and hasn't done anything since, and basically learned his lesson out there to talk with uh Scion about what the CBP was about, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like
Yeah,
there's
Like
anything
other
like
SNHK
that.
was Melonia's best criminal because he like actually learned.
Yeah.
Man learned, I think, but he hasn't.
Well,
exactly hopped on.
we don't have a way of gauging if he learned or not because
Yeah, 'cause he hasn't hopped on because he's had work every
Yeah.
single day.
There's a zombie villager outside the House of the Republic. Anybody want it?
I'm gonna stab it.
Okay. I don't know where it came from. No, I just stabbed it.
so trying to get back on Parliament meeting
Oh,
topic.
yeah, that was.
I
I got really off
presume
task. Apologies.
Finally.
there's nothing else to talk about now with the House of the Republic redesign.
Yeah. Do we still want to talk about the migration office?
Up to you
I
guys.
think that's where our conversation was. Our conversation was on the migration office, and my question was how many.
Well,
people
it
we
wasn't
had.
on the actual topic, it was just referring to it. The actual topic. Well, the speaker is deafened right now, so I guess before he has an opportunity to truly end the meeting, I'll discuss like what I mean with this measure. So,
Fair enough.
the migration office currently has no physical location in Melonia, it's just a part of the Discord server.
Yeah.
So I think it would be beneficial to have a physical location that we can set the spawn to.
Good idea, actually. But where would we put it? I
Um,
feel like Central Malonia would probably be a great idea.
I did
or-
reserve a property that could potentially be used for it, but it is a bit small unless we do terraforming.
What? There's a property near the river that I'm thinking of.
What was that?
Yeah, nearby the river, close to the bridge. There's 2 properties.
Are there?
Well, they're smaller, but I think probably put like the office here, and then you'd be close to the city as well. You just gotta walk over the bridge, and you'll be right in the downtown.
Let me see where this is, because I might not know where this is.
Yeah, this is right here. I mean, it's not big.
Oh,
It's not
this.
small.
I believe this was reserved for the Valsolan embassy.
Fair enough. Or we could put it like right here, but that's also pretty small.
Yeah, and it's right outside of Lon's house.
It's right next to his house.
Have you
was
physically
your-
been to the property I proposed?
Nope.
It's over here. It's on Capitol Drive.
Oh,
so.
it's right there. Never mind. I've probably flown past it, but I don't really pay attention to signs. Actually, not a bad idea. And I mean, you can see the entire city from here, so it's actually
Yeah,
That's a
and
pretty
it's
good
on
idea.
Capitol Drive, so it's
Yeah,
the
that's
government building.
yeah.
You could possibly do more terraforming, or build a stone brick platform like what we have for the horse parking lot.
I feel like we'd have to make it a little bit more decorative, but yes, I do like the idea of making like a platform out of stone bricks.
But we could either make it more decorative or just keep consistency with the other ones.
I mean, you didn't have to do much. I mean, you could do some decoration like how I did the platform for Business Island, just some deep slate accents to it.
Well, the difference
it
is
hard.
that one's like not a government one.
Yeah, fair enough. Or just like add another layer. So maybe use. Do I have any stone bricks on me? Hold on. Be back in a second. Let me. Give me stone bricks. Hold on. I don't have any stone bricks laying around. It's a predicament. Never mind. But yeah, I mean, like, give it a little bit of depth. So you got like the first layer, and then move out one block, make the
Possibly
pillars.
do that. But I guess whatever
it's
we
just an
do, we
idea.
might have to do to all of the other ones.
Yeah, good point. It's an idea. I mean, I don't have anything else to discuss, so I might actually just head out. I got work tomorrow.
Okay.
So, unless there's something in dire need of discussing, I don't see a point as to.
I mean, do you
Well, there's
approve of the
discuss.
creation of a physical location for the migration office?
I do. It'd be a really nice addition.
Okay, so we have that to work with so far. NPCS, what do you think?
Having a physical location for any sort of major office is always a good idea. Never mind.
Hello? Can you hear me?
NPCS,
Yep,
what do
I
you
can hear ya.
think
I
of
said-
a
I said-
physical migration office?
Sure.
Sure. Good
Yeah.
enough for I.
Oh, there was another thing that I had asked. Do you know the bridge we were supposed to make like all those months ago
What
in
Yeah.
Spartan?
Oh.
Are we ever actually
no.
gonna do that?
It's low
'Cause, I mean,
priority.
I mean, we
It
have
is low
Belltown,
priority.
so I think it's a
I'd
bigger
be willing to
focus
make a
on
bridge
Belltown.
design though. I think like a cool suspension bridge over the water there into a tunnel would be kind of interesting.
And maybe
that's
a
just
little
mine, I think.
much.
I mean, or we could just do like a standard arch bridge. I don't know. I keep looking north as like a way to expand because
Yeah. I mean, I still kind
it's
of have
relatively
like
flat.
PTSD to when you destroyed the Higdon downtown bridge.
Apologies. I'd give a design though. There's actually a design on the Arendi right now that I would be looking at. Yeah, I'd give you a design before I did anything dumb. But yeah, there's a relatively flat area up on like the peaks. So, I mean, it's not a bad place to expand. And if we ever wanted to like make another borough, it'd actually be really nice to make it over here. It is relatively far away, but it's still
Yeah. I feel like
close
the
enough
bridge
that it's
project
not-
might actually get support once we have more citizens and there's a need to expand.
Yeah, I do like that. But I don't know. I'll raise the issue
Because-
next time because
yeah.
then I'll actually have a decent design for a bridge. I mean, expansion right now, given that we have 5 citizens currently in the like whatever migration office, I think it'd be kind of useful because I mean we're expanding south with Belltown, but I'd also think we could expand north as well, kind of like polar opposite of each other. Because I think we've kind of exhausted to the east and west, because the east is the ocean, and the west is just a mountain.
Is this still a parliament meeting?
Yeah, we are still discussing parliament stuff.
Yeah, we're discussing expansion.
See.
Because I mean, I know there was once an idea we could make a road
I mean,
to
the east isn't
Stronghold
like
portal.
locked because Belltown consists of like where the end portal is as well.
Oh shoot, is Sepharda not north?
Farden is north.
Is it?
Yeah,
Hold on.
in the announcements channel, you should be able to see the new baller map.
Now hold on. Yeah, trying to figure out. Oh, now I see.
Yeah,
it. There we go.
northeast is the like an area that has an issue with expansion, but southeast does not.
Yes. Yeah, so, I mean, it's an option. It's an interesting option, but as I was saying, the current Sephardan area with the little peninsula doesn't have much growth on it. So, I'm not sure what that would entail. As
There
to,
are
like,
still
expanding
properties
further
for
this way.
sale on it, though.
Yeah, there are a bunch of properties for sale, which means that there's expansion that's ready. But
So yeah, making a new borough there would only be needed once we
it's an
run
idea.
out
I'll
of
have to
properties for
draw.
sale.
I'll have to draw up a like an idea on that map you've made.
I'm gonna leave call now. Bye.
The yeah. I'll figure out. I'll draw up like a mock design as to what we could do there, and then make like roads and stuff. But I mean, that's a later thing.
Yeah.
There's nothing else. I'll probably hop off because I have nothing else to add.
So, in that case, Michael, are you ready to adjourn the meeting?
Oh, we're finally done?
Yeah, I
Yes.
feel like we're reaching an endpoint.
Okay. So there's no other discussion that needs to happen today from anyone here.
Yeah, mark the measures as postponed.
Yep.
Both of them?
Yeah.
Okay. Is this the color we use?
Yep.
I think so. All right. All right. Well, that will conclude the meeting for today. With no further objections, this meeting is adjourned.